Oh, happy holidays and good things like that. We're going to have ourselves a doo-wop Christmas. And you know what? We have a gentleman on the phone here we're going to be talking to in a couple of seconds. And what it is a gentleman that has written many number one hits. Also had, as you know, so many great hits as being part of the Dahrouges. Well, this one, he told me, he said, Ned, you start off your little segment here with him. And he said, play Christmas at the Jersey Shore and play it strictly and only for Donna Reynolds Zappo. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go up to the Jersey Shore. This is Mr. Ray Dahrouge right now. So let's listen. And then he'll be with us live and in living color, talking all about his music.
Oh, windy beach, people hold hands, walk on a blanket, snow-covered sand. There's no place I'd rather be than all those cities by the sea. When it's Christmas on the Jersey Shore, everywhere you look, there are so many lights that shine upon our hearts, brighten up the night. The child that lives inside of me can't outgrow those memories. When it's Christmas on the Jersey Shore, Christmas on the Jersey Shore, so beautiful to me. The faces and places I see. So warm, could melt the coldest storm. There's no place I'd rather be more. When it's Christmas, than when it's Christmas on the Jersey Shore. Christmas on the Jersey Shore. Christmas on the Jersey Shore. Still love the girl I did as a kid, and her precious love is still my greatest gift. And the one I'd rather hold, keep me warm when it's so cold. When it's Christmas on the Jersey Shore. Christmas on the Jersey Shore, so beautiful to me. The faces and places I see. Oh, the love that feels so warm could never hold its storm. There's no place I'd rather be more. When it's Christmas, than when it's Christmas on the Jersey Shore. Christmas on the Jersey Shore is so beautiful to me. The faces and places I see. Oh, the love that feels so warm could never hold its storm. Christmas on the Jersey Shore.
All right, there you go. Was I doing okay, Ray?
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Wasn't bad.
So you think maybe I could become part of the Dahrouges one day?
To Sammy, he's the boy. I don't usurp his power.
Just in case Patsy can't make it.
Oh, his lovely wife Michelle is on the phone as well.
Kidding. I'm kidding.
All right.
Shh.
Yeah, look.
I like that, Ray. I like that. Shh. So anyway, let's go back to your early days of recording sessions and things like that. And you were a part of the group, or were the group, called the Dahrouges. And what years did that encompass, and where exactly were you guys from?
Well, Sam, I'm going to shamelessly plug our first CD, which is Reign of the Dahrouges, 1961 to 2012. But those songs were primarily all recorded of the 17 were recorded between 61 and 65. I got married in 66 to my beautiful wife, Michelle, who's listening and with us right now. And what I wanted to do was two things. One, I wanted to give a shout out to Donna for all her wonderful help. She supported the band before anybody knew who we were.
Yay, Donna.
Yeah, and I know she's your girl because I call her the girl with the golden ear.
Oh, she does.
In my song, first time, you said, sight unseen, you didn't even listen to it, but you said she sent it to me, and I'm playing it because I trust her, and that's when the first time you said you love Christmas on the Jersey Shore, which is her favorite song.
Well, anyway, you know what I did? I
want to tell you that you have a lot of potential. You may end up in the Dahrouges, so watch yourself.
Well, you know what, Ray, that would be quite an honor to be singing next to you right there with the Dahrouges. At least just one song.
Oh, wouldn't it?
Just one song, that's all.
But we'll see. Whatever, you know what? Whatever God calls, he's the quarterback. He's calling the plays. How you been? How you feeling? I mean, you know, we haven't been on maybe a month or 2 months, and this is about my fourth interview with you, and we call them chats because they turn out to be personal and friendly.
Well, that's for sure, because it's one thing I don't ever call any of my interviews, and this is why I think, you know, we do get a lot of the doo-wop groups like, you know, Randy Safuto, Larry Chance, even Kenny Vance. They just love to be on the show because I'm not one to sit here and ask all these questions. You know, we kind of like just chat, and you know, it's just the way I am. It's the way I conduct myself with my you know, my people that I play their records, and Joe, and I've told you this so many times. Joe Niagara is the man that told me. He said to me, Ned, be humble to the listeners and be humble to the stars, for they can make you or they can break you.
He gave you fabulous. Well, you know what? You followed his advice. And what I loved about what you said the first time, 2 or 3 interviews ago, is that you passed that same wisdom that was given to you on to the young people who asked you questions on how to conduct themselves.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
You were on the right track, boom, but just by the, you know, Joe Niagara played my music too. I was blessed to have a bunch of people and filled up Bob Pantano, Raleigh. I mean, I can't keep track. Butterball.
Well, Butterball is gone.
I don't want to talk about that.
Yep.
My point is, Joe said the exact right thing as far as keeping, you know, balance. And you've gone on and you've preached the same thing Joe preached to you. So.
Well, I've broken many people.
Brother.
I've broken many people into the business over the years.
God bless you, man, for doing that.
And you know, the first thing that I ever met with any of the people that I broke in, first thing I ever said was exactly what I just said. You know, be humble to the people that you play. Be humble to the stars.
Yep.
So, and I've lived by that. And you know, Ray, this is my 43rd year in the business. This week is when I started.
God bless you. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. 43 years ago, on this week, I started a rock and roll show in a little town called Belfast, Maine. I feel like you're interviewing me. Hey, this shouldn't be. I should be interviewing you.
You do. You know what? We do that. I don't know. I think it just developed naturally because I did start asking you questions about things.
I know. So over the years, you've written many number one hits. And what's going on in your life right now?
Well, right now, I'll tell you that we're working so hard. You know how New Jersey got blasted by the storm Sandy. Sammy just walked in. My brother Sammy Siciliano and my other brother Louis Scalpati will be here. All the Dahrouges truly are brothers. And to get back to your question, on December 9th, we're going to be at a place called Branches in Long Branch, New Jersey. There's a possibility the governor may be there, but the lieutenant governor is going to be there. Frank Pallone is the congressman for forever. And so we're going to be doing that. There's just so much going on that I'm trying to summarize it best I can. We have several radio stations that want to interview us. Several of them are trying to squeeze us in before Christmas because they want to emphasize the fact these could be, what do they call them, stocking stuffers.
Oh, yes.
Because our latest album, you've heard it. I won't say anything that I know you already feel about it. But Forever Friends, that would be a beautiful gift for anyone. And, of course, CD Baby, iTunes, it's on all the digital stores. And we're still selling because of guys like you and several other people who help push the album we were talking about before, that all the songs were recorded between 61 and 65, Reign of Dahrouges, and that's the date. And then the only two new songs that were written by me and that we did together, because I had already recorded them with the lead vocal, and then when we hooked up with the guy, say 3 years ago, just to round things off, they jumped on, man, and it sounded like it was back in 1961 again.
Exactly, yeah.
Sound fabulous. Sammy, say hello. Ned knows you well by
Hey, Ned,
now.
how you doing, man?
Hey, Sam, how's it going?
Everything's fine, thank you.
Good. I wish you all a very Merry Christmas coming up.
Yeah,
as
same
well.
to you, Ned.
Thank you. Ray, when you guys got together back in the years 1960, of course, you were saying that Sam was part of, and it still is part of the.
He was the
Dahrouges.
masker, and he was the straw that stirred the drink. He really and truly was. He played several instruments. I'm gonna do a short thing and let Sammy take over. But he played several, and God bless him to be able to just pick up a guitar, pick up a clarinet. He's waiting for your call. Him and his brother doing, two-part harmony. Then he's playing the piano, and I'm always saying, where'd you take lessons? And I just picked it up. I said, what the heck is this, like space cadet stuff? It was really, I was awestruck to see somebody do what he did. Later on, I learned a few instruments, but he was still a teenager. Am I right or wrong?
That's right. I was 15.
So 15, Ned. And he ended up on those records. I mean,
Well, he's a star, What do you expect, Ray? 15 years old.
Well, let Sammy talk to you a little.
All right, Sammy.
He's my partner in this the record label. He's my partner. We co-produce these albums. I'm going to let him sneak out information that no one knows.
Wow.
May have discussed it with you privately, but I don't remember. But I'm going to let Sammy tell you about our special project we're working on for next Christmas, not this year.
All right, Sammy, before we get into that, what you did obviously play all those instruments, and it's not that I don't believe your brother, but how did you learn all those?
I I guess it was just an interest. I mean, my father was he was in a harmonica group called the Harmonica Vagabonds, and we always had a piano in the house, and he played accordion. And music was always very important in the house, and there was always an instrument. So, when I was old enough, I started tinkering on the piano. That was always in the house, and the harmonica. And I guess when I was 13 or 14, I asked my father for a guitar, and he bought me a guitar, and I started tinkering around on that. And then he insisted that I wanted to play the sax. My brother wound up playing the sax, but he said, why don't you learn the clarinet first, because it's easier to go from the clarinet to the sax than it is to go from the sax to the clarinet. So I picked up the clarinet, and there was a gentleman around the corner who was a music teacher, and I did take a couple of lessons on the clarinet. I still couldn't read music. Once I knew how to play it, I was never disciplined enough, Ned, to learn the notes. I never learned the language. So I just started playing the clarinet and playing my own songs on it, and I never did learn how to read music. And then when I went to college, I took a course called Applied Music, where I was supposed to learn how to read music, and the music professor caught me playing by ear. One of the tests was, I think it was Darling Clementine, that I had to play reading the music. And of course, I didn't have to read the music to play Darling Clementine, so I never looked at the lead sheet. I never looked at the book. And he failed me, of course, and my father had a fit that I failed music. But it was just, I just picked it up. And then, when I, there was nobody that really shared my passion for music until I met Ray.
Wow.
And he was just as crazy about it as I was. And, of course, he went on, beyond me. Ray, he knows the chords. He knows all the changes. He can tell you what the chord changes are and all the inversions and everything. And I never did learn how to do that. And he went way beyond where I was playing the piano. And of course, Ray picked up the guitar. He's playing guitar on one of the cuts on that
Louis song, Louis song.
Please Don't Act Like a Stranger.
Yeah.
Ray is playing guitar on that. So he shared my passion, and we wrote a few songs together, and we just stayed together up until 65. And even after that, I always had a leash on Ray. I always knew what he was doing. I always asked questions about him, where he was, what he was doing, what songs he wrote. Every record that he recorded, I somehow got my hands on it, because I was playing with my brothers and sisters by that time. My brothers and sisters had, we started singing together, and there's 5 of us, and we're still singing together, as a matter of fact.
Tell them about, the name, everything. Tell them, because you're going to be at the benefit separately. It's going to be Ray and the Darches will be there for a couple, but you're going to be there with your family.
Yeah, my brothers and sisters and I.
Tell it, because it's important.
PS4. My brothers and sisters and I, we were at a wedding years and years ago, probably in, I guess, around 1970, 71. And one of the bands that were on the stage, my brother Patsy was a singer. They knew I was a singer. My sister Fran had an opportunity to go to Atlantic City, but of course my father, being an old world Italian, never. She had an opportunity to front a band down in Atlantic City in the 70s, and my father put a nix on that real fast. And
why did
they all knew we could sing, so they invited us up on the stage, and we sang. And then after that, my brother Patsy suggested, why don't we get together and play and sing? And I didn't know what instrument to play, because my brother Patsy was playing the keyboard, so I picked up the drums. And I started playing the drums. My sister started playing the keyboard. Patsy picked up the sax. And we formed a band, and we played weddings and private parties all during the disco era. It was a lot of fun in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. We played every Friday and Saturday night. Meanwhile, I always, tried to stay on top of what Ray was doing at that time. I guess in the 90s, he was down in Nashville, and I knew that. And in the 80s, he was recording and playing. But I always kept a leash on him as to what he was doing. And then finally, I guess it was about 3 years ago, I had started a couple of songs that, one song Ray and I had written a long time ago, but it wasn't finished, and a song that I started that wasn't finished. So I came over here and I said, Ray, man, you got to do me a favor. I want you to finish these 2 songs. And we finished them together, and then, a woman from Asbury Park, called me up, and, she had heard that we were one of the early groups in Asbury Park in 1960 that were singing, and there's a musical heritage society in Asbury Park because of all the musicians that came from Asbury, Bruce Springsteen and Lenny Welsh, some of the other more famous.
You better give me a plug on Lenny since you brought his name up.
Take a plug, man. Ray.
Ned knows the Ray.
Yeah, you know.
Well, actually, you guys, Lenny Welsh kind of PM'd me and said he's going to be listening tonight.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, there you go.
I didn't want to, I really didn't want to bring that up. I figured, well, I'm just going to, not say anything.
Well, you do know we recorded a whole album of just my music.
I know, and that's why he's so interested.
Highlight of my career.
Right.
That's why he's
Great
so.
songs. Great songs.
That's why he's so interested in listening. And he said, one thing he said to me, he said, Ned, I said, yes, sir. And he said, please don't sing Since I Fell for You. He says, you do okay, but it's not like me. So, anyway, Ray, I'm not going to sing that. But Sam, you growing up, who was one of your role models, I should say, in the music industry?
I listened, my sister Fran was singing before me. She's, excuse me, she's a couple of years older than me. And I had a cousin whose younger brother, Sal Capolonga, wound up in our group, but his older brother, Joe Capolonga, was in a group called the Beaumarks, and I used to go listen to them in the late 50s. I guess, my role models were, I started in doo-wop, and, I just enjoyed listening to the harmony. I never really aspired to sing leads or anything. My aspirations were strictly to sing harmony. I used to, try to sing the second or third note to every song I heard. And then that was my motivation. That was what I aspired to do.
Cool.
So to this day, if I hear something on the radio, I never, sing along with the lead. I always, try to sing a third or a fifth, or, I try to sing the harmony line to whatever it is. And I guess that my role model was, strictly because we were a family, my sister and I used to sing a lot together, and we used to, harmonize with each other. And then when my brother Patsy got old enough, he was only 11, 12 years old, we started harmonizing. And that's what I aspired to do.
That is cool.
I mean, I never sang lead on anything.
Well, that, really, you get so
never
many.
Cared to.
I've talked to so many, professional people like yourself, and a lot of them say they would rather sing harmony than actually lead, because to lead, obviously you've got to be really, really good, but to sing harmony is what makes that lead sound better than what he really should be or really is.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it always enhances. Most of the time, if you do it right, it
Right.
enhances the song. But you're right. A lead singer it's a different voice. Number one. Number two, it's you have to have more of a melodic. You got to be able to. Some of the leads, I can tell you right now, as good as I am singing harmony, if you listen to some of the songs that lead singers have to sing and hit the notes right, I can tell you, I have trouble sometimes. I can't. If you listen to, let me give you a typical song, Hoagie Carmichael, Stardust. Try to sing and hit every note in the beginning of that song, the refrain. It's very difficult. A lead singer is a special kind of person as far as I'm concerned.
That is very true. That is very true. Now, what are you guys working on? Something brand new that Ray was saying, so let's elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, run that past him, Sam.
Yeah,
I got to interject one thing there. I don't mean to eviscerate your conversation or anything, but my brother from another mother just walked in, who I love, and to me it has one of the most beautiful tenor voices God put on the planet, and I would never ever say that unless that came from my heart. He knows it, Sammy knows it, and I'm going to put him on to say hello to you. I know you know him well, Louis Scalpati.
Hello, Louie.
Just to say hi, and then I want to go back to Sammy telling you.
Yeah, just cut him off, Just cut him off. Don't worry about it.
Cut who off?
Cut Louie off. I don't care.
Now, here's Louis. Say hi, Louis.
I wanted to say a quick hello, and because I didn't want during midstream on a conversation, and these guys are the historians here.
No, they are.
I just wanted to say hello to you and how you doing, and wish you all the best, and happy holidays to you and your family.
Oh, same to you. Same to you, my friend. Same to you.
Right.
And, Louis, can I ask you one question?
Yes, you can.
You were singing for such a long time. Who was one of your favorite doo-wop singers of all time?
I like Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. I love the Moonglows. I always loved the Cadillac.
Of course, Earl Speedo just passed away on us.
Just passed away. What a shame.
Yeah.
God rest his soul. And,
Yes.
As a background singer, I loved the Flamingos. One of my favorite groups because their harmony was phenomenal. And how great they are.
Yes, they are. Terry Johnson does a wonderful job with them. He was just in Allentown a couple of months ago. He was here with the Flamingos, and boy, I'll tell you what a great show that was. He still has it yet after all the years.
Yeah, you know like I know, they're phenomenal. And I'm a big fan of Harvey Fruitco and the Moonglows.
I only ever saw him one time in concert.
God rest his soul.
Yes, God rest his soul is right. But what a perfect gentleman. I mean, he went out of his way to talk, especially to the radio people. And, all I did was I had a few words with him. But, boy, I'll tell you what a gentleman he was. And there, too, was another success story that came out of nowhere, that he got his act together. And
So true.
and it's so true with all of these groups, There's Earl Speedo and the Cadillacs, was a janitor before.
That bio from with Donna, I didn't know that. I was very touched by that.
Well, yeah, and you know who else before the PBS specials came on?
Yeah.
And it was a gentleman by Lee Andrews.
Yep.
They found him at a mall being a janitor.
Very interesting.
And then when they said, listen, can you get the Hearts together? Can you get somebody together? And they put him on the PBS special. And of course, the man was aglow. But, how hard is that after hitting so many #1 songs in the 50s and 60s to be demoted of some sort, to being a janitor in a mall? Of course, now he's actually doing better than he did back in the old days
Yeah, right.
because of that PBS special. So, anyway, let's get back to what you guys are
I
doing.
didn't mean to interrupt your conversation. I just want to give you a quick hello and say hi to you. Thank you for all that you do.
Oh, thank you very much, Louis. I appreciate it. I certainly do appreciate it. Thank you.
You stay well, and I'm going to get back to Sammy and Rag.
I'm going to give that a heck of a good shot to stay well.
Great. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, Ray, are you back?
Hey, Ned, I'm here. I just want to say this to you. I can make this short and sweet. The person that stimulated me as a maybe 12-year-old kid and I Was Bitten was Frankie Lyman.
Oh, yeah.
And that's it, Going Away. He stole
Right.
my heart. And then later on, I like Smokey, but Frankie's the one. And but I still didn't lose track. I want Sammy to tell you about our special project. But before that, I don't want to use up too much time because I want you to play a few more of our tunes because we still CD baby. We're doing well with the first CD, and the Forever Friends took off like gangbusters. We got pushed back a little bit with the hurricane. So if you can maybe, I don't know if you can sneak in Forever Friends for us, that would be really special. But let Sammy tell you about our very, very special project.
What we're going to do, Ned, for next Christmas, and we're already, we started working on it. Well, first of all, before we get to that one, which we're going to do probably right after the first of the year, Ray and I are working on a 10-song album of Ray songs that we're putting some background behind. 10 great songs that Ray wrote. Most of the leads are done. We're going to record one or two of them over again as far as the lead is concerned. But we're putting harmony behind these 10 songs, and that's going to come out under Ray Dahrouge. Just Ray by, it'll be promoted as Ray Dahrouge. There'll be credits on the CD. My brothers and sisters and I are backing them up on a few songs, and the Dahrouges are going to be on a couple of songs. And, of course, there'll be label credits for that. But the title of the album will be Ray Dahrouge. So that's coming out. Once we finish that project, we're on another one after the first of the year, a Christmas album for next year. And what we're going to do is combine Ray and the Dahrouges and PS4, the Siciliano family, and including Patsy's two daughters, along with my two brothers, my two sisters, and my brother Patsy. And there'll be a couple of leads by my two nieces. Patsy's going to sing the lead, and then most of the leads, of course, will be Ray. And it's going to say featuring Ray Dahrouge and Patsy Siciliano, and we're going to put that out in time for next Christmas. And we're really going to put a lot of emphasis on the marketing aspect of that, because it should be, the songs are great. They're Christmas songs. And a couple of them, my niece is already working on the lead for one of them. My brother Patsy's working on his lead. Ray has a couple of leads already in the can. And it's going to be a fabulous, fabulous Christmas album. It'll be 10 songs again. And so you'll be hearing a lot about that. Of course, you'll be one of the first ones to get a copy of it. And hopefully next season, there'll be some Ray Dahrouge Christmas songs out there that hopefully some of the stations will be playing,
Well, I know one who will.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm going to tell you something, too, I've overlooked. My son and I, Daryl, as a matter of fact, one of Sammy's nieces is going to record it on this album that he's talking about. It's called A Very Merry Christmas. But my son and I, Daryl, just found out from Lisa Mason. I know you know what a popular host she's been for many years at QVC.
Right.
She's in your neck of the woods.
Yes, she is.
Told me just last week. She said it's been copywritten, it's been photographed, and you and your son Daryl have the title cut of the Lisa Mason album. And the only other song she put on is the one that Lenny mentioned when he was saying, if I ever do a Christmas album, this is the first song I'll cut. It's Christmas Everywhere.
Right.
And you remember him saying that to you?
Oh, absolutely. I certainly do.
Yep, and so Lisa had that cut already, and she said there's no originals, all standards except for those two songs. And I was so happy for my son, because I've been blessed to have title cuts of several albums, but this here one is like the first one for him, so that was really beautiful. And well, I'm not trying to plug it because I don't push myself that hard. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But if Lenny ever sang the song, he would tear that thing to pieces. I think you could hear that yourself.
Oh, definitely.
The one last thing, and I'm going to give it back to Sammy, is every song on Merry Christmas from Ray and the Darshades and PS4, the Siciliano family, every song is going to be an original, not one standard, because people have been staying their lives out.
Right.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Right now, everybody that puts out a Christmas album, you might hear one or two original songs on it, but they all do the same songs over again. Have Yourself a Merry Christmas, Merry Little Christmas, Jingle Bells, the Chestnuts,
Right, the Christmas song.
They all re-record the same songs over and over and over and over again. So the fact that this will be 10 original Christmas songs is really going to make this thing unique. They'll be new to the market, and they're really great. I have to tell you, the songs are really terrific. I can't wait. I just can't wait to start working on it.
Good. Well, you know what, gentlemen? I certainly do want to thank you for taking your time on this Thursday night to join us here on television as well as radio. And, the thing of it is, there's so many people that are tuned in, whether they're, listening or, on the radio or watching us on television here in the eastern half of Pennsylvania, the western half of New Jersey. We certainly do, want to thank you guys for coming on. God bless you and what all you do. And, what is happening on the 9th, I want to talk to you, Ray, about that, privately. And since that's a Sunday, I may have to take a ride out there.
Oh, that would be outstanding.
I think
that
maybe
would be the icing on the cake.
I think we'll take a ride out and see this and just take it all in and enjoy it. So, Ray, I want to thank you, and I certainly do appreciate this.
Let me ask you, whether we're on the air, whether we're off, can you sneak us in Forever Friends? That's the one we need the most help on. That's the one we're getting the greatest reaction on.
I will give it a shot here.
Tonight.
I'm going to play Christmas in Miami.
Oh, that's great too.
Yeah, right.
So we're going to do that one.
I appreciate that. That's the most popular one on that particular CD.
It is. So, gentlemen,
Play one again.
Merry Miami Christmas.
Merry Miami Christmas it is.
My favorite too. Yep.
My favorite. But later on sometime if you can, and you already know this, you've done it for so many times. If you just remind the audience, they've been so good to us. Your audience, and every time we go on, we get a little boost from CD Baby. They say, the sales jump up. That they know they can get it at CD Baby. They can get it anywhere, really, but that's the one.
Right, but that's the one you want to get it from.
Right. You've been wonderful with that, Ned.
Listen,
What I say is thank you. I'm going to wish you health and happiness for the new year. And I really hope, man, I know Sammy and Louis feel the same way, that we see you December 9th down in Long Branch.
Right.
Any information you need, you talk to me ahead of time, and we'll get it worked out. That would be, I'll make sure I got me even a throwaway camera or something, but there's going to be a bunch of pictures with you.
Okay, I certainly appreciate that.
And I'll tell you, hey, I Joe Frazier, I took pictures with a lot of famous people. Those throwaways aren't throwaways. I got some great pictures on my wall.
Well, you may want to throw me away once you take your picture.
No, but I teach it. False modesty is a sin.
Oh, my gosh, I'll tell you.
Teach you like Stephen A. I don't want to excoriate you on your own show. Oh! I love you. Hey, Ned.
Yes, sir.
Love you. We all love you, man. You've been, I don't think anybody's interviewed us as much as you, and you just treat us so good. So I'm going to shut up, and it's time for you to get rid of this.
Get rid of you guys here.
Thanks so much for all the time you gave us.
Thank you, Ned.
Oh, that's no problem. You know what? Good. That's what good friends are for. And I love your guys' music. I think you guys are good. You're great people. You know, God bless you. I hope you all live a long, good, healthy life. And I hope all of you have a fabulous Christmas. Of course, I'll be saying that to you on the 9th. But it's just so good to hear from you people again. And you know, thank you. That's all I can say. Thank you very much.
And you know what? Thank you. What more can we say than thank you, Ned?
Well,
God bless you, and we just really, we mean it from our hearts. When people help us, you know, that's all it's about, man. Like, artists need help more than ever, and you've been wonderful. So thank you, and throw a kiss to my girl Donna Zappo out there, because she's.
I know she's watching here. I'll throw one to her.
There's more now.
There, okay. I just threw her a kiss. All right.
Great.
All right.
Beautiful.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you very much. God bless you, and we'll see you on the 9th.
Louis said goodbye, and he threw you a kiss.
Oh my gosh, Louis!
I don't know what it's about.
Oh, I feel so. I'm so flattered.
He's flattered, Louis.
Oh, you gotta love guys like this.
All right, I'm gonna say goodbye, Ned, because I'll go on forever. You know me.
I know. We have our 2-hour, 3-hour chats.
Okay.
All right.
Again, for everything.
Thank you for calling in and taking your time here.
And God bless you.
All right. Thank you, and same to you, my friend.
Good night, Ned.
And your family. All right. Here we go. We're gonna go to Miami. Okay. They hung up on me.